Sid arrives safely in Lindworm and decides to have a bath. In his way, he states his preferences, stating how much he likes what he likes and dislikes what he dislikes. Although he is of the opinion that there are insignificant things he likes and dislikes, one of the insignificant things that he likes is hot springs. Just then, he gets into a hot spring, humming as he enjoys the calm warmth it brings. Surprisingly, he isn't the only one who seems to like hot springs. Princess Alexia happens to be in the hot spring with him and is shocked to see him get in. Sid completely ignores her and continues to act like she isn't there while still enjoying the warmth of the hot spring. Still nervous, Princess Alexia summons the courage to begin a conversation. She asks about his injury since he seems healed. She is, however, surprised to see this since she had cut him so deeply in their last encounter. In response, he refers to her as a killing machine but doesn't say any further. When she inquires about what he said, instead, he seeks to know why she is in town. To this, she states that she had been invited as a guest for the goddess trial. Then she asks him why he's in town too. In response, he states that a friend had invited him since there was a really fun event going on. Proving to be ignorant, he asks her what exactly people do with the goddess's trial, but she finds it surprising that he had come all the way to Lindworm without having an idea about what it is. To let him know, she states that it is a fighting ritual where ancient warriors are awakened from the sanctuary to compete against challengers. Hearing this, it believes that the fighters would be competing against ghosts, recalling that Alpha had mentioned something about this in the midst of his thoughts. Princess Alexia cuts in, discouraging him from having any hopes of participating in the fight ritual since it is already too late. Furthermore, she looks down on him by reminding him that the ancient warriors only answer the call of challengers they deem worthy, while Sid decides to mind his business. Princess Alexia reveals that she will not be participating in the ritual. Furthermore, she makes the shocking revelation about the Archbishop of the cathedral's death. Although this didn't seem shocking to Sid at all, his attitude not seeming to care didn't stop the princess from divulging the real reason she had to come to Lindworm. Apparently, she had been sent to investigate the dead Archbishop. After saying all of this, she decides to stop since she can't say any more to an outsider. Hasn't she said everything already? She, however, tries to convince him to join the Crimson Knights if he wants to know more, but he blatantly refuses. While the two continue to spend some time alone in the hot springs, Princess Alexia reveals her thoughts on Sid as she assumed he would want to hold her. Sid, however, silently tells her to shun such thoughts since he had made sure not to look at her throughout his time in the hot spring with her. This, he says, will keep them more comfortable while bathing. At that moment, he asked her to stop glancing at his body. In her defense, she tries to body shame him, but he's shocked when he rises up to prove to her never to judge a book by its cover. Then he leaves her startled and utterly shocked to her bones. The next day, Princess Alexia meets with the acting archbishop as she demands to conduct the investigation, but he cancels it before she arrives, demanding to know why she chose to do that. He states that the royal family had sent her to investigate the archbishop who now happens to be dead. Furthermore, he states that they need to apprehend the killer and therefore have no time for what he terms the princess's hobbies. After that, he pleads with her to leave church matters to the church, urging her to just sit back and enjoy the goddess trial. This gets Princess Alexia very angry and determined to make sure she gets her father's authorization to go ahead with the investigation. Still angry at the acting archbishop, Princess Alexia is angrier at Beta in her disguise as the author Natsume. She feels Natsume's demeanor is too good to be true, though she is more disgusted at Natsume's chest size since she gets the feeling that Natsume makes use of this to attract her fans. On the other hand, Natsume recognizes Princess Alexia as the character who tries to get close to her beloved Lord Shadow. She, however, believes that Lord Shadow would never be attracted to the princess. Noticing the suspicious look from Natsume, the princess steps on Natsume's foot. Meanwhile, the acting archbishop begins the goddess trial, and the people are excited. One after another, the archbishop calls in and introduces the contenders for the day. The first he introduces is a challenger from the Oriana kingdom named Tope Paterius. After this, one of the members of the crowd reveals to another the fact that an ancient warrior will be unable to leave once it had been summoned, not until one of the either ancient warriors or the challenger is defeated. This, one of them claims, had led to the death of a challenger in the past. Hearing this, the other wonders why the challenger tries so much to get into the trial when it could lead to their death. His curiosity is fed with the fact that managing to beat an ancient warrior would get the victor a commemorative medal. With this medal, a challenger is allowed the opportunity of going to any knight order in the world and will be hired instantly. Meanwhile, Sid happens to have paid attention to their conversation. After hearing them talk, he realizes that he will have no chance of doing anything like Eminence in the Shadow if he decides to fight. However, this doesn't stop him from fantasizing about the possibility of getting into the competition as Lord Shadow and giving people the thrill of a fight. While they are wondering who the fighter is, on the other hand, all the challengers have no luck in summoning an ancient warrior, as this means they are all unworthy. At this moment, Sid realizes that he hasn't seen Alpha since he arrived in Lindworm. Unknown to him, Alpha seems to be on a delicate mission of her own. In the meantime, and towards the end of the challenge, Sid gets called in as the last challenger. At first, he's unaware that he is the one being referred to. However, when he realizes this, he's shocked, although not as shocked as Natsume and Princess Alexia. While his announcement as a challenger sounds thrilling to the people since they assume he would be the best student of his academy, Sid sits speechless, wondering why and how he has been selected. Before making a decision, Sid considers 3 options. Firstly, he chooses not to fight since he would be forced to reveal his identity as Eminence in the Shadow. Secondly, he considers running away but finds this to be out of it since he wouldn't want to incur the wrath of the divine teachings and be expelled from the academy. Thirdly, well, he decides to go with the third option, which is to cause confusion. To do this, he plainly shows up as Lord Shadow, announcing his presence. While the Archbishop is startled by Lord Shadow's appearance, the latter goes ahead to summon an ancient warrior. Surprisingly, he ends up summoning the fierce Aurora, Witch of Calamity, who once reigned chaos and destruction on the world. Seeing Aurora, Natsume immediately recognizes her. However, Princess Alexia seemed lost since she had never heard of her. On the other hand, the Archbishop finds Lord Shadow to be unfortunate, wondering how he was able to summon the most powerful witch in all of history. However, he believes Lord Shadow to be a lowly bandit and assumes that he would be helpless against the supposedly powerful Aurora. Without wasting much time, Aurora launches multiple attacks on Lord Shadow, who spends his time avoiding them strategically. He runs around biding his time and studying her just before slicing her with his sword. The fact that Lord Shadow won so easily against someone he deemed so powerful surprises the acting Archbishop greatly. Just then, they are surprised to see a magical unveiling, signifying the answer to Lord Shadow's call to the sanctuary. Witnessing this, Alpha is convinced even further. Did you enjoy this recap? If you did, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you the recap of the next episode. Until next time,